Hello, my name is Mati. Today I've got a little tutorial for you. I'm gonna show you a very powerful technique with the Jomox Alpha Base that you can just feel free to use it if you want. It's gonna involve some very resonating pad sounds that the Jomox Alpha Base excels at, I think, but this kind of functions are a little bit hidden here, so like it's not entirely obvious how to do it just by taking the machine and just using it. So I'm gonna show you step by step how to do it. You may have heard this technique already in many of my jam sessions, the most recent ones for sure, and also on my recent EP that was recently released called Pairings. It's available on my Bandcamp. I also invite you to join the Bandcamp, follow me there. All the stuff that I'm gonna be uploading is gonna be available for free for everybody. And well, the EP is perhaps a little bit like cringe because there's vocals there, a lot of noise, a lot of screaming, like awkward whispering. It's experimental in nature, but maybe some of you could like it. And if you don't, then still all like my major jam sessions that I uploaded throughout the years, I'm gonna be successfully uploading them to the Bandcamp as well as like EP releases. Not all of them, just the ones that I find are the best in my opinion. And all of them, of course, for free. So the link is in the description, you can visit me there. Okay, and now with the tutorial. So tutorials are not really something I did throughout all these years that I've been uploading my jam sessions. And it's because, well, I'm not such a big tutorial guy, honestly. I prefer to just play the instrument. But a lot of people were asking me about some sound design tips with the Jomox Alpha Base, and especially with the pad sound design. As it's not entirely obvious how to do this kind of pads that I often do on the Jomox Alpha Base. What I have in front of me here is the Jomox Alpha Base Mark 1. Everything that I do will also be, it's gonna be pretty much the same with the Jomox Alpha Base Mark 2, just you will have a little bit different screen to use, but everything else will be exactly the same. So you can use it also with the Jomox Alpha Base Mark 2. Now, what we're gonna need for this sound design? Well, first of all, there are many ways to do a pad sound on the Jomox Alpha Base. Some more effective than some others, perhaps. You can mangle with the M-Brain, for example. You can try with FM Synth as well. It can create some pad sounds, but they are limited in this regard. They are more good for like some freaky sounds, not exactly for like a classical pad. Well, what I'm gonna show you is also not gonna be a classical pad because we're gonna use some functions of the Alpha Base like the resonating filters and the very messy ambient reverb as well. You're gonna see. Okay, so for this technique that I'm gonna show you today, we're gonna use a pad based on a sample. And for this, you cannot really use a sample that's already on board of the Alpha Base. You have to load in your own sample. And myself, I have one already prepared here under the number 247. Let's just have a quick listen to it. Oh, sorry, there's also a kick drum. So we're gonna definitely need to totally open the amp envelope, otherwise it won't work. And we're gonna also need to have the loop on function and just set it on whatever you like. Okay. So this is the sound I'm gonna use for this tutorial. The way I got this sound was just I think I just recorded it through the stereo input here on my Alpha Base from some ambient track I liked probably. I don't remember anymore, but it's just like 1 second of the track. And it works fine for this technique. You can just find whatever pad sound you like. Probably the best you could do is if you have like another synthesizer that's capable of synthesizing pad sounds and just record it directly through the stereo input. I'm not gonna explain how to record it because I'm assuming that you've already read the Jomox Alpha Base manual or that you watched some other tutorials. I'm not gonna go into this stuff today, but if you already have a pad sample, I'm gonna drop it on the sequencer here on step 1. I have the sequencer set to 16 steps exactly, not 32 as it is by default, but 16. And already we can hear what the problem is with creating the pad here, because listen to this. The pad is starting, and then even though I have set the loop function on, you can still hear exactly when the sample is starting, when it is finishing. Like this amp envelope that the Alpha Base uses was definitely not designed for this kind of stuff. It was designed for like quick, snappy, just quick, snappy drum sounds, not for pad. So how we can work around this? So you can, of course, like play a little bit with the sample starting time here, with the stop time, with loop times, and you can probably create something that's gonna sound at least decent. But that's not what we're gonna do today. Instead, I'm gonna show how to do it even if we don't have like a perfect sample, that's just like a perfect loop. So for this sample you can hear it starting, it's finishing, it's starting again, it's finishing. Not very useful. What you're gonna need is a cable with a jack input, like this one. I've already discussed this technique many times. You can also find it in Bauketop tutorial. Also shout out to Bauketop, who always mentions me in his videos. I really appreciate that. And we're gonna input this into the instrument track that we're using. So for this one I'm using track 7, Crash. You can use any of the sample tracks, but most effective if you use from number 5 to number 8, because there you have both the filters, the analog filters of the Alpha Base, and the sampling functionality. So now let's play it with this jack cable connected there, and you can barely hear anything. This is because when I connect this here, the sound is not going to the mix volume, the main output, just the stereo output, but instead it's designed so that you put it in the mixer and you mangle with it, you know, on Ableton or whatever. But that's not what we're gonna do here. We're only using the main output here to record this sound. So the thing that you may hear slightly in the background right now is the reverb of this sound. And why is that? It's because all the effects on the Jomox Alpha Base actually go through the main output and not through the individual tracks, of course. So even though we have connected this jack input there, it's not going anywhere, by the way. It's just an empty output. Even though we connected it there, the effects are still processed through the main stereo mix. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna bring this reverb here, increasing the reverb input for track 7, which is Crash. and you can already hear it better. What this does is it kind of course it washes the sound down completely. Like it's not gonna be the same sample that you used. It's gonna be something much different when you put it through this reverb. But well, it's whatever you like. You know, I'm gonna make this low cut at 127 and high cut at 0 to have the full spectrum of the sound. And I'm gonna bring this reverb level to about 100, like this. And now for the room size, anything above 100, I would say. Okay, I often use even 127, which creates a lot of resonance and, like, you know, how the over something, right? You can already hear this sound there. So of course it's kind of useless really in a mix because it's just a washed out sound. If you're some kind of sound mixing enthusiast, which I'm not, you're probably gonna record this like separately from all the other things and then shape it in a DAW. I'm not gonna do that. I never do that because I'm too lazy for that. Instead, I prefer to have a fucked up mix, and it's okay. I don't care that much. So let's just put it on 125 for now. I also advise that for this technique you bring the pitch down to about a 45. Well, depends what kind of sample you've got, of course. But what this does is it's gonna enable us to have a wider range here when we're using the step sequencing function later. So just keep that in mind. And now for the other functions, well, let's see. I'm gonna keep, well, this is standard stuff. As you can see, the amp envelope fully open, basically. And now for the filters. This is the important part. For anything really Alpha Base related, the filters. This is the main distinct thing that characterizes the Jomox Alpha Base. Wait a second. Okay, this doesn't really matter here. Okay. So we're gonna use the low pass filter here. And you can make this, like, really introduce this pad sound slowly here. And now for how to make like this really expressive type of sounds that I often use, like they are kind of like Berlin School kind of sounds a little bit. We're gonna use the resonance function. Basically, when you put the resonance at anything above 80, it's starting to self-oscillate, creating additional pitch here for us. And what we can do with this is that this pitch is basically based on the frequency that the cutoff is assigned to. Okay, so we can easily create melodies like this. So let's say the cutoff is at 90 right now. Let's see, I'm playing some music here, and then I'm putting the resonance above 80, and it's bringing in this sound in, right? But if I turn it to 93, for example, it's another pitch. So you can basically make melodies like this. Not very precise, of course. But very haunting, very atmospheric. Another thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add in some delay as well for my instrument. For the delay, I'm putting the feedback on 125, delay time on 63, which is like the default delay, I think. And I'm gonna bring in some more volume here for the delay. Okay. So now you can hear the pad. And you can also make melody not only using the resonance of the filter, but also by changing the pitch of the sample, of course. But this is a little bit tricky, because right now we have 45 pitch. We want to, let's say, go to 50, so I'm gonna change it to 50. And you can hear it going like step by step to the 50. It is not ideal, of course. It can be useful for some stuff, like you can make maybe something like this. Whatever. Not very useful though. So that's why I told you to keep it at 45, because then you can, by pressing the kit sequencer, it opens up this pitch sequencing by step menu. And right now my instrument is number 7, okay, doesn't matter. But the step that I'm mangling it with is just the step 1. There is no sound on any other step. So if I change it here, it's gonna change for this step. Change the pitch for this step. But it can only go above. So let's turn it. As you could hear, the effect is not immediate. It waits for the sequencer to come back to the first step for the effect to take place. So this creates some time for us to dial in exactly the type of pitch we want to hear and not have the steps in between. We can go up to 2 octaves above using this method. So combining this with the resonance of the cutoff, you can already be very melodic this way. Nice. Okay, let's bring the reverb to the maximum, the room size to maximum. It's gonna create a lot of noisy sounds, but who cares? And turn the resonance down for now. And I'm gonna show you another thing that you can use this for. So, for example, in my jam session, which is called Late Night Dungeon, Dungeon Techno, I think also this sample is the one I used in the jam session. It's the exact same one. You can hear like this pad playing, some other stuff playing as well, but also after some time you can hear like this really spacey sounds, like kind of sequences even. They are all actually still the same instrument as the pad sound. They are not separate. And the way we do this is, that's why I showed you to turn on the delay as well, because otherwise you're not gonna achieve this. You need to have the delay as well. We're gonna go into the LFO section. And now let's say we're gonna use wave number 36. It's the one I like to use for this. And let's bring the LF rate to 8 for now. It's the synchronized 8, so it synchronizes the LFO to the sequence BPM. And now we're not gonna touch the LF tuning, but we're actually gonna use the LF cut. Let's put it at 24 right now. You can already hear the cutoff being modulated by the LFO, but this is not really what we're using this for. What we want to achieve is actually have the resonance of the filter be modulated by the LFO. So let's now bring the resonance to above a high N80 and see how that sounds. Okay, not very... Okay, whatever, I don't know. Okay, now we have some other results. But what this should do is it should be modulating this sound, but it's not. Okay, I don't know. Let's use another LF wave. Okay, you can hear it now. So with LFO wave number 6, you can actually hear this weird sounds, right? Created by the resonance that's modulated by the LFO. So you can have this on top of the pad. You can increase the rate of the LFO, decrease it. You can have it even out of sync. If you go above 127, you get the out of sync, the unsynced LF rate, which has a little bit more, you know, it's basically like more fluent, I would say. Okay. And using all of these tricks that I showed you, you can implement this into your jam session and have the Mati type pad sounds in your jam sessions as well. So let's say I'm gonna add some kick here. I don't know, it's the default kick, so this video is not on kicks, so I'm not gonna go in depth here, but let's say something like this. Okay, let's see how that sounds. As you can hear, the kick is on maximum volume, but it's barely heard because the reverb is so loud. But this is how I like it, because I like to focus more on the reverb. But you can just turn it down. And have the kick more in front in this way. Adding some hi-hats here now. Shaping it a little bit with the filters. Okay. And then we got some drums, and let's play a little bit with the pad now. Just using the standard default clap sample for this. Not going in depth again because this video is not about claps, but maybe I'll make more in the future for other type of sounds. Now we're tuning the resonance down, and that's a trick I may be overusing a little bit, but here I'm gonna bring the pitch of the pad up and at the same time bring back the drums, which gonna create some kind of shift in the in this track here. So let's say I'm just doing some kind of improvisation here. Shoo shoo shoo. Bullshit bullshit. And then I'm bringing it up, and then bringing the drums back, and it creates a nice shift here. Okay guys, this is how you do it. Stay tuned for more if you like. Subscribe and see you in the next video. Bye.